event. This is a big one for him in as much as it's the first one. Now, my name is Rafael Carlos Aragon Bonifacio. And I belong to the team of Mayrus, and I'm in charge of customer service. So, Rafael Carlos Aragon Bonifacio, and people call me Rafa. But you can call me anytime because I handle customer service. Anyway, so he would like, please come in. We have seats in front. Mayrus and I agreed that before any event, we would like to say a prayer for the food. And this is nothing, this is not a recruitment or a religious recruitment meeting. But I'd like to pray, if you can agree with me. Lord, I just want to thank you for this group of people. I want to thank you for taking them safely to this place. And Father, I pray that you would bless the food that we're about to partake tonight, and that they would retain the information that we're about to present to them, Lord, for their good. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. So you're free to, before it gets cold. Actually, it's before it gets cold. That was the go signal for me. When the pizza or whatever that dish is comes in, he said, you can go to the mic. Because I've been saying, let's go, let's go, let's go, because we got to respect people's time. It's very, very important. Okay? So, while you're doing that, I would like to, first of all, introduce the man. The man of whom Donald Trump and President Biden said, who's he? No, it's just a joke. It's a joke. But anyway, Mayrus is my boss. I work for and with him, and I embrace his vision, which he's about to share with you tonight. I'm not as young as he is. He's young enough to be my son. My eldest son actually is older than him. So we have a very, very nice, tight relationship, like father and son, older brother, younger brother, etc., etc. Nevertheless, he's my boss. And my personal definition of service is not the ability to inconvenience myself for the convenience of others, but it is the willingness to do so. And having said that, this man, who is young enough to be my son, I've known him for some time because I worked in a different office. Him being a top realtor in the same office where I worked, I have so much respect for him in that he is very humble despite his success as a young person. And I am honored to introduce him to you tonight. I'm also honored to be part of this first ever appreciation event. Incidentally, before I even introduce him, we agree on this, that our secret and our key to happiness is, number one, absolute contentment, number two, perpetual gratitude. And so, agree? I want to thank you because some of you I know come from many other faraway places like Cuba, like Mexico, like Philippines, etc., etc. It's a nice combination of people, And so, without further ado, before I bore you even further, may want to get some food over there. I'd like to introduce and call over to the stage this man who I have great respect for, and I'm committed to support his vision. Okay, Merus, please. Let's give him a big hand. Before I do that, anyway, I'll just give him the mic. Thank you.
Hi everyone, one more time. I love to see you guys all together in one place. Many of you guys unfortunately couldn't make it because of work, because of family, because we kind of planned this kind of in the last minute as well. So hopefully next time we do a lot better, so we can feel this whole place. Because I keep getting texts all day like, you know what, I really want to come, but I couldn't make it. I'm sorry, I'm in California, or something came up, or they called me to work. If I knew it a little bit earlier, I would have got an extra day off so I could make it. But either way, I'm glad you guys are here, and that's why we plan to take a video of this event, so we can basically have the people that couldn't make it watch it later, because today we're going to bombard you with a lot of great information. As in, my gratitude for you guys to be a great client to me, and also many of you already refer many of your friends and family to me, and there were a lot of questions that needed to be answered, so that's why today we're here. So I'm going to start with letting you guys know that my team, you see me and Marisol mainly in front, as a front runner, but there's like another 6-7 people behind us that you probably never see. Many of them work virtually. Many of them are at the office, but since they're not in front, just like Rafa, you don't really see them. But behind whatever we've done so far for our clients is a whole team. But without further ado, since we started a little late, I want to kind of like go right to the point. Today's event is very, I would say, a specialty, because there were so many questions in time that I was supposed to answer, and we were just talking about it. Eventually, I got to the point that I'm like, you know what? These are repeating questions. I might just have everyone come in at the same time and answer them all. And if they have more questions, we just answer them right in there. And then hopefully we can have other people watch it down the road. So on the other hand, I think it's my professional obligation to my clients, because you know me mainly as a realtor and also as an insurance agent, but within insurance we have financial products, and also I just got my 2 licenses that we're going to announce today. It's in the process for me to become a broker in real estate. I got the exam done about 2 weeks ago, and it's in the process to come out of the licensing, and hopefully there's more coming towards that. Also, I just passed my exam last week as a loan officer. And so now, what we're trying to do is letting you guys know what is really coming within our team. So our big announcement is our new office. This is what I've been working on since the beginning of this year. It was a lot of challenges, but finally we got it. Now we own this place. No more renting, no more moving around. This is going to be our permanent location. It's right in the corner of Charleston and Decatur. And we go to the previous slide. All these businesses, real estate, mortgage, insurance, and financial and retirement product, and tax, they're all going to be done in that office. So pretty much what we're trying to do is one-stop shop. You guys come in, we take care of everything. Everything with everything in it. There's one more piece which is behind all of that, that kind of pumping everything out, pretty much our marketing agency. I don't know if you guys realize all my videos and all the posts and everything. Obviously, I have 24 hours just like you guys. I can't do it all by myself. So we hired people in our team, so now all the marketing pieces are done internally, so we don't outsource it. So we can control it, everything is unified with our branding, color, and everything else. So behind the 4 businesses, we have our marketing, and these are everything that's going to be available in our new office, hopefully within the next maximum 2 months, once it's done renovating and we put everything in and we make an announcement. I'll send you guys a video that, hey, as of this day is our grand opening, our new address is going to be there. All right? So, why we're here, and why I think I need to actually talk about all this with you guys, because I don't want my client to get wrong information out there and hear things from non-professional people and start believing wrong information. Because I came across so many of these situations or so many of these cases that eventually become frustrating, because along the way, as soon as we start a process, because let's be honest, especially buying a house is one of the biggest decision or biggest transaction in many people's life, right? And all of a sudden, everybody become expert, and they don't mean bad. They want to help. Their intention is good. And they think they're trying to help, but in reality, is your mom, dad, or cousin, relative, uncle, your coworker, your brother, sister, whoever they are, they might have bought 1 or 2 properties a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, but the reality is this market changes on a daily basis, if not monthly basis. Okay, so what we're experiencing today as we talk is different than 3 months ago, definitely different than beginning of this year, and whole another level comparing it to last year. All right. So today I have a special guest, 2 of them. They came for us, and I really want to thank them for their time to be here, taking time from their own family on a Saturday to come here and talk about all this great stuff. One of our special guests is Clayton. He's an attorney in town, one of the best trust attorney in town. I want to invite him to the stage. Clayton, please come here. Let us know what's going on and what needs to be done after people bought their property. Please.
Putting just a simple will together or doing much more complex planning if you have a taxable estate over $25 million if you're married. If not, there's all kinds of other things involved. A lot of times folks say, well, why bother? Why should I bother doing a trust or any of my estate planning? And what I usually tell them is well, everybody has an estate plan. It's whether you want it or not. And what I mean by that is a lot of times folks don't think that they need an estate plan or a trust or a will. But we all have estate plans, whether or not you have one or not. It just depends on if you want the state to dictate how your estate is distributed when you pass, which most people don't want to do. So why bother? Because we want to make sure our stuff goes where we want it to go. So what's the difference between a trust and a will? That's a big one. That's a big question we get asked a lot. A trust is... Sorry. A trust is an entity that you create whereby you give property, the grantor gives property to another, the trust, who's called the trustee, for the benefit of somebody else. There are dozens and dozens of trusts. In fact, I did a seminar not too long ago called Trust is a 4-letter Word, on all the grats and gruts and crats and all kinds of 4-letter word trusts. But this is essentially the nuts and bolts of every single trust, where you create a trust, and you're called the grantor, the trustor, the creator, it's all the same. You give property to the trustee who manages it for somebody else, the beneficiary, and that beneficiary could be you or somebody else. A will, on the other hand, what I put in there is just, it's called, it speaks at death. And that simply means that you can create a will now and sit on it until you die. and do nothing with it. A will can certainly dispose of your property. You can name a personal representative, how you want your tangibles and assets distributed. But you can write a will, and in Nevada you can do what's called a holographic will, where you sign it by your hand and say, okay, this is me, this is what I want to have happen, da 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 da. But you can basically see where the difference is a little bit more. It's a little bit simpler to create a will, but is it really going to dispose of the property and the assets like you want? Possibly. And so one thing that also comes up quite a bit is this idea of probate. What is probate? And so I'm just curious, has anyone had a family or loved one go through probate? I'm just kind of curious what that. Anyone? 1, 2, 3? Oh, okay. And would you say it was a good experience? Probate? You guys that went through it? Maybe, probably not? Okay. Yeah, it's not great. Probate is the process of proving your will. If you die with a will, if you do your will, or you go see an attorney who does a will for you, that's what we call dying testate, or you have a will. If you die intestate, that means without a will. Probate is the process of going to court and proving that will, presenting the will before the court, saying, this is the decedent's will, this is how we're going to distribute the decedent's estate. Generally speaking, probate occurs anytime you pass with property in your sole name. So what I mean is that for folks who maybe just bought a house, let's say for example, if you buy that house in your sole name, and heaven forbid you get into a car accident and you pass away, that's where the house then ends up in probate. We don't want that, okay? Probate is two things, it's time and money. Two things that we can't really get back a lot of times, right? And so to avoid that, there's things that we can do. But again, probate, sole name, probate bad. If you get nothing out of this presentation at all, just think, okay, Clayton said probate bad, okay, and that's what we don't want. Okay. All right, so this is everyone's favorite. We get to talk about, just for a second, what the attorneys get to take home when you go through probate. Now, attorneys can take fees a couple different ways in probate. We can work on either a flat fee, we can work on an hourly fee basis, or we can work on based on what the value of your estate is. And so I pulled up our favorite section, 150.060, section 4, which goes through how to calculate the valuation of an estate. So I'm going to read this, and you can tell this was written by attorneys when we read it. If the attorney is requesting compensation based on the value of the estate accounted for by the personal representative, the court shall allow compensation of the attorney for ordinary services as follows. You can already, so like I said, it's already, you can tell it's written by lawyers. For the first 100,000 at the rate of 4%, for the next 100,000 at the rate of 3%, for the next 800,000 at the rate of 2%, for the next 9 million at the rate of 1%, for the next 15 million at the rate of 0.5%, and for all amounts above 25 million, a reasonable amount to be determined by the court. Okay, so here, let's do a little quiz. Who can tell me if the value of your estate is 500,000? What percent can the attorney take? Did we get that?
4%. Right?
See, it's a little confusing, right? So the way that it actually, so it says for the first 100,000, 4%. So what's that? $4,000, right? If your estate's worth $100,000, the attorney can take home $4,000. For the next 100,000, so now we're at 200,000. If it's 200,000, 3% for the next 800,000. So now what we're looking at is actually between 200,000 and $1 million. The next 800,000. It's 3% from the next million up to about 9 million. You're looking at the 2%, and then anything basically over the 15 between 25 million is reasonable amounts or 0.5%. So you can see where most folks who have modest estates, just working class folks who maybe have life insurance policies or retirement accounts, a home, you can see where it can get pretty lucrative for attorneys to charge just based on the value of the estate. Again, what's the one thing that we said in this whole presentation? Probate bad, right? We don't want this. This is wasted money that could go to your families, your kids, and other things. So we want to make sure that the money goes where we want. Okay, so why bother or why create a trust? Again, we're just simply talking about revocable living trust for our intents and purposes here. Assets transferred to a trust avoid probate. So if you take your house, husband and wife, spouses, take it from your names and into the trust, boom, out of probate. Number two, we can provide for the grantor's incapacity. So if, if maybe you're a little bit older or your health is declining, or if you feel like you just really want to have someone that could step in and manage your assets for you if something happens, then this may be something that you'd want to look into. If you're, again, if you have health, health is really the number one thing. Where a lot of folks who are maybe a little bit older want to make sure that their kids can step in and manage things for them. Number three, your trust can dictate how, when, and to whom you want to distribute assets. You may have a child that has special needs, or you may have a child that you just really don't like. None of us have those kids, right? Yeah. Or actually, the way it comes up is you actually have spouses from the kids you don't like, is what I see a lot, actually. But we can dictate how, when, and to whom those assets are distributed, right? We can leave it in trust for them. They can get an outright gift if you want to leave $20 million to the Humane Society, right? We can do that. A trust can do that. And number four is, with a revocable living trust, you get to maintain a lot of control over the asset. It's not an irrevocable trust. We're not making a completed gift for gift tax purposes. What we're really doing is just saying, any assets I have in my revocable trust, I can keep and I can manage, sell, encumber, transfer, just like I could as if those assets were in my sole name. And so a revocable living trust is really just a great option for most folks who want to just do some basic estate planning, just somewhere to start. It's a great option. Okay, another question I get asked a lot is, okay, I've created my trust, now I'm good, right? Okay, wrong. Wrong. We cannot just wave a magic wand and suddenly assets are in the, this isn't Dumbledore, or what is Harry Potter? Where do they live? What is the Hogwarts. Castle or whatever? Hogwarts, right? We can't just wave a wand at Hogwarts and say, okay, I've created my trust, now all my assets are in trust. No, it's not quite how it works. We're going to talk about funding in just a sec, but having an unfunded trust is probably one of the most common mistakes I see clients make. And that just means that they think that they've created the trust and now it's all good, and it's not, and we'll talk about that in a second. And so what I usually recommend is, if you did create a trust, or any estate plan, even if you just did a will and a medical directed, things like that, just have it reviewed every 3 years or at any time there's material changes to your family or finances. Okay, just really quick, I want to hit on how do you fund a trust. So again, we've created the trust, that's step one. Now step two is, what do I do with it? Well, we need to change title or ownership of that asset to the trust, and we do that by changing the title. So a good example again is with the deed to the home, we do a deed from your name to the trust name, the Smith Family Trust, or I had a client in Hawaii, I don't think anyone knows him, the Bluefin Tuna Trust, which was one of my favorites. We can also name the trust as a beneficiary on life insurance policies, retirement plans to a certain extent now. Bank accounts, the idea, in other words, is there is a little bit of work involved afterwards. We can help you with that. We don't mind doing it, but if you're like me, I'm not going to pay someone to do like something I can just do myself. And so we can help you with the deed. We can certainly help you, give you all the tools. You go to the bank to say, I want to change this bank account to my trust. They'll say, great. What's the name of the trust? And we give you all the information that you need and how to do it and whatever. But the idea is that we need to fund the trust after. You can't just let it sit. Okay, what involves a good estate plan? This is another question I get asked quite a lot. Is it just good that I have a trust and a will? Well, sure, but a good estate planning attorney will look at your situation and give you, and this is really just kind of the fundamentals here. This is the most, most planners will do this and include these services. A trust and a will, a certification, or what's called a short form of trust. Anybody here read Cliff Notes in school? No, you guys all did really well in school. Nobody read Cliff Notes, right? Yeah, okay. Everyone's like, I didn't read Cliff Notes. What are you talking about? Cliff Notes are like a short version of your trust. Certification is the same thing. It just goes through the details of the trust without giving any of the beneficial information. A medical power of attorney and a financial power of attorney, that would also be included. So if you can't make your medical decisions, or your financial decisions, you've appointed somebody else to do that. It's a fiduciary relationship. You know, for the financial power of attorney, a lot of times people ask me, well, can't my agent just take, you know, well, yes, they can, but that's what we call stealing and fraud, and then you go to prison. So it's a fiduciary relationship. It's an agent that acts on behalf of somebody else. A HIPAA release. HIPAA is the medical privacy law. So a HIPAA release would allow, basically it's a document that says, okay, these are the people I want to receive my protected medical.
How do you like it so far? Was it informational and great to know or not?
Yes, it is.
All right, hope it was. So, the next section, I guess, is what if life happened? This is, if not more, I think is as important as trust, because there's two parts. There's a part where people can find your asset and, you know, try to sue you for it or whatever. And there's a part where you actually try to make sure if anything happened to you, most of you guys have kids and stuff, family, or if you don't have a family currently, you're going to have it one day. And you don't want your hard work just goes to trash can, right? So this section, I think, is as important as having trust, okay? Life happened, but I think within our team and within our platform that we're trying to put together, we have a solution for it. This is me back in January of 2020. It was in Napa Valley as a part of my financial licenses that I have for my insurance. That's when I became national director. That's actually, the person next to me is actually Lloyda's son. Lloyda is going to come to the stage shortly. And these are the stuff that we're going to talk about. Lloyda came all the way from San Jose to here just for us. Give it up for Lloyda. She's one of my mentors. I love her knowledge. She's been in the business for a long time. I started, of course, back in my all estate days back in 2017, but it was only all estate products. But now that I'm a broker and I have all these other products, this is just as a whole another broader spectrum of things that we can do for our clients. Lloyda, please, on the stage. Thank you, Lloyda.
Well, thank you so much, Maruz. I expected a meeting, some kind of informational and some kind of seminar that is going to conduct, but I did not expect food. I did not expect, well, a lot of times when you attend seminars like this, like the information we got from Clayton, or Attorney Clayton there, you have to pay, right? You have to pay to attend such kind of seminars. Not only that, I don't need to pay, but only it's feeding you. So I'm going to say, give it up, and really, thank you so much, Maurice. So, I'm not at all an attorney, okay? So, but what I'm going to be talking to you guys is something that you probably will be able to say, wow, you know, that's information I needed to hear. My name is Lloyda Dela Cruz. I'm Senior National Director for Extradus Financial Partners. I've been in the business since 2018 doing this, okay? I've done everything that you probably can find there. In the real estate business, I've done property management, done sales, been in the computer, programming, and accounting also. But yeah, I've done also Uber driving. Okay? So been there, done that. But doing this, you will realize later on that I'm going to get a little bit more passionate, because I feel like I found out this is my field. This is something I want to do until I retire. It has to do with helping people. Before I go there, I want to ask you guys a question. And you don't have to raise your hand, okay? You can if you want to. But the question is, who in here is or has a debt? Has a debt. Okay? So nobody raised the hand, but they say, according to statistics, that 8 out of 10 is in debt, whether you agree with me or not. And the 2 is in denial. You're supposed to laugh. Okay, so I'm talking about debt elimination. But you can raise your hand here. Who has a mortgage loan? Very good. I hope you got the house from the rules. But okay. But also because it will take care of you in all aspects of what you're doing. Not only that he will be able to get you the best property probably, but also the best loan or whatever it is, and you can go on and on and use the services. But now what he's going to really provide to you, because I'm partnering. Actually, when he said my son was, he also got appointed as a national director the same time I really. So we're talking about 3 years in relationship, working together, and the financial services of what he's doing. And I really love Meruz. Yeah, he's also like my son. Well, he's a lot taller. Okay, so when we're talking about debt elimination, that's going to be my topic. Who here would like to hear how you can pay your mortgage instead of 30 years, you can cut it in half? Yes, yes, okay, one hand. But what about if I tell you that you do not have to pay extra? Whatever you're paying now is the same money that you're going to be using so that you can cut your mortgage in half. Marus is such a smart person. He has seen the concept. He has seen that this product right here is what everybody needs. Otherwise, he won't even call me to stand right here in front of you. Let's talk about BYOB. What is BYOB? Okay, I know everybody has a version of what could it be, okay? But let me call it build or be your own bank.
Be your own.
We're not going to be talking about you building a building and then call it your bank. Okay, so it's a concept, okay? So banks make a fortune with your money. You agree with me? Okay? Yeah, right? That's why a lot of, or most of the cities all over the United States, banks are the tallest buildings, yes? So what happens is because that's where we deposit our money. And what do they do with it? They invest it, they lend it. They don't just put it in their vault, they don't just leave it there. Before even it's there, it's already out. Okay, I'm sure you probably understand that. And they make a lot of money from your money, or your money. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with this, but just to give you a general idea on how you can also be your own bank with the same thing that they're doing and how you can apply this to yourself. Okay, so what happens? Then they pay you a little bit. Anybody knows the rate of how much you can gain from any deposit you put in the bank? The most right now?
I'll just say it, 0.01.
There's a bank here, so I'm not going to go ahead and tell the name of the bank. But that's how bank works. So whether we accept it or not. But this concept is that do what banks do, but not what they say. What do they say? Put your money here. Your money is safe here. Leave it there as long as possible. You agree with me with that? Okay. But why is it that we work so hard, yet we feel like we keep working and we're still there? We're not advancing. But at the same time, why is it that the rich people or the wealthy people keep getting richer? Do they have like a different set of rules in life, in financials? Okay, so let's understand that, okay? Because what we do traditionally is when we get our money, what happens? We put it in the bank, right? So that's the traditional way. So let's just, for example, your income is $5,000. And then 100% of that, this is from your employer to what? To the bank, correct? And then standard, or actually in general, 85% of that goes to what? Pay the bills. Once the bills are paid, do you still see that money? Not anymore, right? It's gone. Right? 85%. What about 10%? Maybe lifestyle. Maybe you can come to this restaurant here and I love the eggplant.
Yeah.
I love the eggplant.
Oh, yeah.
I keep telling
They got a whole menu of delicious food.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So lifestyle. So it could be just coming with your family to a little dinner here or anywhere. But talk about 10%. What can $500 go? Right? So hoping also that 5% of that goes to your savings. Prepare for your future, for any emergency, right? That's the savings is supposed to be for. But again, you don't have to raise your hand. Who that's got religiously, like every paycheck you set aside 5%? Sad sometimes. Okay, and then what do you get? That's a little amount that they give you for your money. Okay? Because that's the traditional way of thinking, how we're doing things. But let's compare it now to wealthy thinking, the way wealthy people would do it. Okay? So, from the bank, the money's in the bank now. Because normally it has to go there. Just get cash from employers now, or cash is not good now, right? Credit is king, or cash is king. However you look at it. But the process is, your money goes to the bank. But instead of spending it out, the wealthy people does something else. Okay? They place it into an alternative bank. They leverage tax. They also get what? They also get free loans. Okay? So this is the secret. But now I'm letting you in on the secret. I'm sharing this information with you. When I heard about this, I said, wow, I didn't know that. There's such a thing. But now I'm so very passionate on sharing this information after I helped a lot of people. Because right now you're going to say, how can I apply this information to me? Okay? So eliminate that. I talked about earlier, in the very beginning. Anybody here has debts? D-E-B-T. Okay, maybe that's why nobody raised hand baby, because I mispronounced it. But it's debt. Okay? Yeah, so what happens when we have debt? We want to, as much as possible, pay it off, right? Okay. So, so we use the money for finance to finance also future expenses. Okay, so why do we want to be your own bank? These are the reasons. Some of them is you want to control. You want to have control of your own finances. Okay? You also want to have the growth that's guaranteed, that you yourself also can control. You want to have liquidity. You understand what is liquidity, right? It's not stuck there where you can't have access to it. You put it in, you have access. You can take it out. Okay? You want to use it for debt elimination. You also want to have it for peace of mind. That's very important, yes? Okay, so you agree with that. Anybody here heard the rule of 72? Okay? So I'm going to go a little bit faster now. Okay, the rule of 72 is actually what the banks use. This is the formula that they use. Whatever the interest rate that they're offering, okay, that's how they'll be able to determine how long that will double, your money will double. Okay? So let's have an example. Let's say, for instance, that $5,000, okay? Put it in the bank, and the bank will offer you 2%. That's a very generous bank. Do you agree? Okay. Okay. But with inflation it happens, so let's not even look at that. But that's for the sake of example, let's use the 2%. So in this particular case, 72 divided by 2 is how many? It takes 30 years for the 5,000 to double. So if I'm 29, and I am, okay, no. So if you're 29 years old and you have 5,000, yes, in 36 years you'll be 65, you'll have 10,000. Wow, not much, right? Not much. And that's already a good rate. But that's what the bank will offer. But what about what they do with your 5,000? They loan it out. Again, this is a very generous bank because they only charge 14.4. No, sorry, 12%. 12%. Different slides. Okay. So usually it's 19, 27, 22. Yes. Okay. You put your own money. A lot of times this is what happens. Your own 5,000 here, and they tell you, okay, you can go ahead and have a credit card for 5,000. The same money. You cannot touch this, but you can keep on spending using this payback. So let's just call it 12%. Again, with the rule of 72 divided by 12%, how many years they will double their money? Remember, this is their money now because you put it in the bank. It will, for the same person, age 29, the 5,000 will take only what? 6 years. So the bank will double their money. You spend their card, you pay a little bit, and money will become 10,000 in 6 years. Another 6 years, that's 20. You keep on spending, you keep on paying a little bit, you're paying the interest rate of 12%. You're 37 years old, you already have given them 40,000. 53, 80. 59, 160. 65, 320. That's the same $5,000 that was put in the bank. Okay? I always give an example. Like, what if you have if you have kids, maybe twin. The one saved the 5,000, the other twin borrowed it. Imagine. Bank earned 310,000. But I'm gonna give you 10,000, right? They basically just gave you 5, yes or no? But how much did they earn? Okay, so that's what they do. So, repeat myself. Do what banks do, but not what they say. Okay? Because why? Because they do it too. 64.2% of U.S. banks and savings associations, okay, they do this concept. 175 billion in cash value. 97% of those banks use general accounts called fixed products, and also because of that they can save it with no taxes. I'll explain that to you in a minute. The government only allows up to 25% that they can put in that type of fixed products. Okay. Little words, there's the survey where the information came from. Okay, so these are just example of the banks that's using the be your own bank concept. They have special person, maybe the CEO, maybe the owner, the founder. Okay, so it's attached to their life. They'll be able to have this type of product. But like Bank of America, over 19 billion. Wells Fargo, over 17 billion. Go on and on and on. U.S. Bank, 5 billion. Somebody here used to work at U.S. Bank. Okay, so in other words, your 5,000 or whatever you deposited in there will be part of the money that they're gaining, more gains for them. Yes? Okay. So with that in mind, I want to tell you that with the Certis Financial Partners, what we do is we help people eliminate debt. What I do is a presentation when people fill out this form right here. They give me, it's pretty much like a debt action plan. It's a debt analysis with their own very basic information. I can put into my system, which is what we call the software for the debt elimination. It generates a report. It tells you basically how long or how fast you can pay your debt. So just last night, I wasn't home in Summerlin. They just got their house refinanced, so they're supposed to pay another 30 years. And so let me give you an example of that scenario. Okay, so they have $5,000 in their savings. They have a little bit money in their IRA, which is a total of another $5,000, just a little bit. They have money in different portfolios. But I use those two because those are the ones that are accessible right now. Yes? Okay. And then what do they do so that they can eliminate interest or at least pay less interest? They pay a little extra on the mortgage. Isn't that what everybody or a lot of you are doing? If you have a little extra, you pay more. Okay? So what if I say that pay the minimum? Let's say how much They were paying like 1,700. They make it 2,000. They even pay every 2 weeks. So instead of 30 years, they're hoping to pay it like about 27 or 28 years, I think. That's what it was. So with that said, they already know in their mind, the traditional way of doing it, they're going to pay it in those many years. And when I did it on the analysis, paying the rate that they're paying it for, and versus putting it in this particular concept, they'll be able to pay their houses instead of 26 years, 11 years, and 8 months. Would you like to know how that works? Yes. Would you like to eliminate that way? Would you like to be able to say that we are going to redirect? Your money is already in the savings. Your money is already in your Roth IRA. Could be under your mattress. My job, and also Marissa's, we find the money. We don't want you to do or go get a second job so you can have more money to pay off your debt. What we're looking for is the money you're already spending, redirect it to another basket so that that will generate income, so that that will produce more money, so that in the long run you'll be able to save interest, so that also that will also prevent you from paying a lot of taxes. Because you know why? It's attached to your life. I usually don't want to say life insurance, but that's exactly what it is. So let me give you examples of entrepreneurs, business people that thrived and actually became so successful in their business using the same concept. Anybody heard of Walt Disney? Walt Disney, founder of Disneyland, yes. When he went to the bank, he wanted to borrow because he had a vision. He wanted to have a theme park. He wanted to start that business. He wanted to have a happy place, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and all that. When the bank listened to him, I'm sorry, we don't have program to fund that type of project. Okay? So what did he do? He used the liquidity that he had from his life insurance. That's money that's accessible. That's what funded to be able for him to grow and finish the project. That was big. That was huge. What about Ray Kroc? Anybody heard of Ray Kroc? He acquired from the McDonald's brother, McDonald's. Okay. Again, nobody wanted to lend him money because he wanted to franchise. He wanted to grow. He really believed in the McDonald's, the hamburger or the fries that they had. So again, nobody lent him money, no banks. So he used the money from his whole life insurance. The cash value accumulated. Have you heard that before? Okay, so it's there. He was able to take that out and fund it so that he can grow his business. But let me give you another one. This is the biggest. John Rockefeller. Combine Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Put them all together. They still don't have enough to match the wealth that John Rockefeller has. Okay, so a lot of you are going like this because you're familiar with that story. He actually went through 2 world wars, the Depression, the Cold War. Even with the pandemic that happened, his generation, 36 generations from his family are still billionaires. But how did he survive during those times when the economy was down, when all the businesses were closed? Because all of the members of his family had life insurance that he was able to get cash value, that he was able to access so that it will fund the business. Okay? During that time, a big portion, a big percentage of the economy, of the income of the United States was from the Rockefellers. There's a tycoon of all this gasoline. I read BP, Mobil, Arco, Chevron, Exxon, you name it. That's all his. Okay, so, but there's a family, let me tell you this. That was about the same level where he had, okay? But where are they now? The Vanderbilts. They did not have, or they were not using the same concept, the BYOB, okay? So anybody of you curious, anybody wants to really know how you can eliminate your debt, how you can also be protected with your life, and you don't also pay a lot of interest and pay taxes, contact the rules, or I also can give you my information, and then we will be able to really give you the full detail. Okay, I don't want to take a lot of your time, I don't want to take a lot of Maru's time, but let me tell you why a lot of people are doing this right now. Pandemic happened. I was saying before 64 billion, but I just recently heard 1.3 trillion dollars was lost in 401k. Okay? So you think that's the safest way to save your money? Look again. Maybe some of you already experienced, but we're not blaming that program, but because it's in the stock market, pandemic happened. So what you want to do is really look into venues where you can improve yourself, where you can help protect your savings, your assets, your family, and your future. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Loida. I swear to God, I know if we want her to talk, she can probably talk for another 2 days. Because there's a lot of information that we do need to talk about, and there's a lot of misconception out there about things that people have that, I guess, wrong aspect of that, wrong type of idea about it, because every time when we talk about financial product, oh my God, I gotta go. But the reality is, a lot of time when we're trying to ignore something, we're turning our face the other way. That doesn't mean that thing doesn't exist. It's there. You just try to, for the lack of a better term, fool yourself and say, you know what? If I turn my face here, I don't see it, so it doesn't exist for me, but it's there. It's the reality. We all been through it. I get through a lot of those deals where those probate deals are there. The asset needs to get sold through the state. That's why we have this, the attorney for states to come here and talk about that. And also stuff that protects your life, protects your asset, and also, at the end of the day, it's all tax-free. Everybody wonders why Donald Trump doesn't pay tax. Because he knows how to use his money. He doesn't go to the same bank as me and you. He has his own bank. And guess what? Any money coming out of this bank is tax-free, believe it or not. It might sound too good to be true, but anything come out of financial products that are tied to insurance companies, they're all tax-free, period. If you want to know about it, matter of fact, we have this banners in here, not to just look good. These are scanner codes. You guys can scan it. Go to our website. We create a website for all 4 different products that we're going to have in our new office. Nancy, come here, please. Marisol, come here, please. I'm here. It's okay. You don't want to talk. I talk. Nancy, let's go. Don't be shy. Brian, unfortunately, most of you work with Brian. You know him. He was just sitting here. His kid needs to go somewhere and he needs to leave. But he apologized to all of you guys. He just didn't want to interrupt the presentation. But he was here just to say hi to everyone and answer your question. But again, after we're done, if you guys can scan this QR code, you go to our website, and then you can basically just fill out this short form and tell us based on what sort of product you want to meet with us, or what kind of question you have, you can definitely answer. Nancy, come here, please. Come on stage. Nancy is going to be actually our tax partner. She's been doing tax for over a decade. She's mainly known in the Latino community, but now that we partner up, we're going to talk in like 4 different languages. Yes, we're going to have Spanish, English, Persian, and Filipino, Tagalog. So in our new office, Nancy going to be there. We're working on getting everything corrected. done with the state and registered and everything based on our new location because it's highly regulated, as you guys know. And it's all going to be under the same brand. So you guys know that, Modern Choice. Hopefully by probably towards the end of November, we're going to push all the marketing out. You guys know about that. And hopefully down the road, when the tax season comes, you let us make it happen for you. Other than that, thank you very much, Nancy. I won't put your face with the name down the road. You know, I'm going to do that. You all know my soul. She's so part of my team. Without her, it's impossible. Because, as I said earlier, I'm just one person, but I just do a lot. Yeah. Right? But without help, without good people in my team, I cannot accomplish all of that. I mean, people can't even handle one of those businesses. But I promise you guys, I'm done. 4 business, that's more than enough. Because the real estate, mortgage, tax, and insurance, all at our new location. We have, thank you. By the way, we have a YouTube channel that our podcast, Milestone Builder Show, which is shared in these platforms, Google Cast, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You guys can follow that under Milestone Builder Show. Also the video, it goes to our social media and also our YouTube. Follow that, it's free. All right, if you have any question, any topics, like let's say you want more information about that whole estate attorney, I would bring him to my podcast, talk about this for a whole 2 hours, and you guys just watch it on your YouTube whenever you want, right? Here's another thing. Most of us in here that I see, you guys are business owners. Dada is a stylist, and Maggie, she does cakes, and she does a great job. You guys don't know. But if we stay connected, right? Yeah. We can actually support each other better. That was my another major point of bringing all of you guys together to know who's doing what, and we can actually take care of each other, right? All right. This is a great part. I'm Surush Kojai Shoma. Give it up for Surush. You can get there anytime, and this delicious food is just a little sample of kind of magic they're doing here. You gotta eat their food. Like their kubide, this is a common Persian known name, known food. It's one of the best, I think. Yep. I've eaten kubide probably hundreds of different places in my life. Not that I'm in front of him, Swedish. His kubide is a whole another level. All right. I would love you guys to go to your social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Just check him, and also if you can leave him the deserving 5-star review, it would be very helpful of you. It's free also. And thanks again for being a great client. Hopefully it was informational and helpful. And if you guys have more questions, you know what to do. Just scan here and you go to our website. Let us know what time and date is best for you. We would love to meet you, whether in our existing office or our new office. We do it all for you. All right? Thanks again for coming. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, the rest of our life, we stay connected and we see your kids growing and buy them a house and help you guys in your financial and eliminate all your debts and all that. Thank you very, very much. And I'm going to pass it on to Rafa for closing. Thanks again. Seriously.
Give me a really big hand, please. That really deserves it. I mean, he did this single-handedly, installing the sound system. He was here way, way too early before anybody else thought of coming. But first of all, I just want to thank you sincerely for taking precious time out of your Saturday. Osmani, I didn't, I love your kids. Thank you. Here's the important thing. Outside of that, thank you. I know you will be forgetting some of the things that we shared around here. I know you will be forgetting my jokes, my corny jokes. I know you will be forgetting whatever Mayrus told you. I hope you don't forget how we made you feel, because this is the most important thing. You are very special to us, and I say this very sincerely. He offered me a job, he shared with me a vision, and in my heart and in my mind I said, this young guy, 39 years old, reminds me of myself. I was a serial entrepreneur. I'm 66 years old by now. And I committed to him. I told him, you know, Mayrus, the vision and the energy of the young, coupled with the experience, okay, of the old. I don't want to say I'm old. It's just a number. It creates explosive synergy. Now, if we put you into the mix, the people that we value and cherish and are grateful for even giving us, you know, your time or your business, I mean, we're going to go places real big. And it's going to be for everybody's benefit. Again, thank you very much. You're free to hang out. There's a lot more food over there. Maybe network, get to know one another. We actually have a raffle of some prizes. I would like to give an award because we've got Cuba, we've got Mexico, but guess what? We've got somebody from really, really far out, Uganda. Maureen, please stand up. I think we should give her a special whatever gift or whatever. Really appreciate you guys, really do. Because Saturdays are very important, even to me. In fact, I brought the most important person in my life next to my dog, my girlfriend, Dinah. Please be recognized. Thank you very much, everybody.
We got a couple of gifts. Lawyer's Title is here. We close most of our deals with either Lawyer's Title or Chicago Title. Unfortunately, the crazy parties, they're like sister and brothers company. There's like 4 of them, right? Tycor, Lawyer, Chicago, and Fidelity. So the regional director of Chicago Title just passed away from cancer, and it's kind of tied with what we were just talking about earlier. This life happened, right? So our title rep from Chicago Title couldn't make it, but on behalf of her, she said it like 3 times. Please make sure you thank all your clients for being a great client and all that. There are some giveaways we're gonna just raffle, and hopefully it goes to someone that we. All right. Thanks again for coming. Appreciate it. If you're doing it, just let me know who is. Come here, please. Do the honor. Please.
No problem.
All right.
Those things you have to do before you.
First one.
I ran out, so that's why I have a flyer.
Myra Castillo. Oh, she missed the chance.
She left already? Wow, she left already.
Okay, we do one more. Dada! What we have is something super special. Come here, please. Right here. Everything golden night. Hopefully you're a fan. Thank you. We love you. My new fashion haircut is Dada's work.
No, I just wanted her to give me some.
All right, one more, please. My goodness, Renee. Renee just moved from California to here, and she's one of my, you all great, but I love Renee for another level. Thank you for being great clients, just like the rest of the people in here. These are great people right here, all right? Please bring that basket, Marisol. Déjalo este teléfono, por favor, por el amor de Dios. Okay. We got this is from Lawyer's Title. Linda, thank you for coming. I know you're a busy lady. Thank you for coming for us. It means a lot to us. The basket on top is for Renee.
I know.
Whatever is at the bottom is for us. Okay?
You didn't ask me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Read right.
Lawyer's Title, thank you. Linda, you're the best. Thanks a lot. The rest is yours. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Sorry for taking a lot of time.